Welcome, welcome, welcome. Uh, yeah, the rules for chat. I don't know. I think Soy Teresa is experiencing the new moderation. Oh wait, I think I did set rules for the chat. I forget. Anyway, it's getting distracted right off the bat. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Sometimes shoplifters want a bit more. Let's learn about bank robbers on episode 64. Okay, as I was mentioning, I set some rules for the chat, and I think I tried to make Soy Teresa a mod so we have some structure to this chaos, but I did that days ago because in between the last time I spoke to everyone, we all spoke together. I'm not speaking to you, we're speaking together. Join the chat. But since last week, I went and visited my grandpa in Las Cruces. Grandpa, famous figure of this show, and getting to Las Cruces, you can verify this if you wish, but if you Google Map it, to walk from here where we are in Carlsbad, New Mexico, to get to Las Cruces, it predicts it's about 3 days. And it only took me 2.5 to get there and then 2.5 to get back. But I have been traveling this week. I have been gone. So a lot of the preparation I did putting this episode together, I did before I left. So a lot of these things, like the chat moderator that I set up and all this stuff, I completely forgot about because life is a whirlwind and I've experienced so much. It was really fun to go see my grandpa. I had a great time there in Las Cruces. For some reason, I never seemed to come across the resident film expert of the show, Sean Norris. I was hoping I would bump into him somewhere because I kept calling and he would not answer his phone, which is typical. Viewers of the show know he's a hard man to reach. But I was sitting there, I was dialing 505-494-8484, and there was never an answer. It was pretty disheartening, but I did have a good trip. I did have a good time. And I showed my grandpa. Hold on. Let me get out of this beautiful coat and get into my beautiful. Feels like there's something in the pockets. My jacket seems heavy. Who knows what I had in my pockets? It was probably something essential for this show, but I completely forgot all about it. But it was nice to see Grandpa. I showed him my custom Conda sneakers, and here's a little behind the scenes, breaking a tiny bit of kayfabe. Conda is not my birth name. It's a name that I have adapted and chosen because I really like it. It came from a story where... Oh, cool. I have a cat hair covered windscreen. Yeah, that's true. Hey, who knows? I have cat hair all over the place. It's kind of revolting. But I showed my grandpa my sneakers with the custom Conda on the embroidered on the tongue, and I told him how he's the one who told me about his grandpa Conda and new facts about Conda that I did not know. The person I take my name after, his nickname was Con. So maybe I should start going by Con. Conda, but Con for short. I like it. It was pretty nice. What did I have to... Okay, here's the issue. I write these things down. I do a lot of preparation. Do not believe Brother Binks, who says that this show will never win an award for the best preparation, because that is patently false. And just to remind everyone, Brother Binks said if we won that award, he would eat his hat. So I am still searching for somebody to be the resident chef of Caveman News who can bake up a good hat, because I don't want Brother Binks to have to eat a disgusting and unhealthy hat when it comes time to make honest his declaration, because we are going to win an award for the best planning. But despite of that, I have something written here on my card and I have no idea what it means. I have written down hospitality and I don't know what that means. But I do know what this next thing means. I heard a story. I tried to do some recording of my grandpa talking, because I thought any stories he tells are going to be fun and enjoyable to play and maybe discuss on Caveman News. I'm going to learn things. And yes, I need notes for my notes. The clump is killing... What is this? Okay, I guess I do have a hairy windscreen, but you can't blame me for that. This is not my hair. This is Cobra the cat's hair. But one of the stories that Grandpa told me that I wish I had been recording when he did was he told a story about his father, Elmer, who we have also discussed numerous times on this show, and believe me, there's going to be more Elmer stories in the future, because I've been holding back on some of them. They're really great. What does Soy Teresa say? Okay, she says that's better. It was very distracting, and I'm sure she meant to say that I am an exceptional de-hairer of microphones. I don't know anybody better. But the story he told me about Elmer that I wish I'd been recording at the time, he talked about how when Elmer was 80 years old, he grew a big, big mustache. He said he had always wanted to do that, and so here he was as an 80-year-old man, and he finally grew out the mustache. Yes, I am the con man. Con man Cameron. I like the ring of it. Con Cameron. Con is a good name. I would not be sad if people started calling that. But anyway, Elmer had this mustache, and his wife, my grandpa's stepmother, she hated the mustache. She would just talk endless shit to Elmer about his mustache. And then, out of nowhere, Elmer got frustrated. So one day he woke up early while his wife was still asleep, and he shaved off half the mustache. And then he kept it that way for a day or two, and she never noticed. So he reluctantly shaved the rest of it off. But I think that is a great spiteful action. That's how you comply with derision. And that's the type of thing I've learned as a descendant of Elmer. It was very beautiful. What next do I have? Oh, I did have one other thing I wanted to get to before we start the show. I don't know how many of you saw it, but in our episode on, I believe it was explosions. I don't think it was fireworks. I think it was an episode all about explosions in general. At the very end, we had a big finale where we blew up, where I attached a bunch of Black Cat's fireworks to a painting, and then I had my phone as a camera pop up on stream, and then I walked outside with my camera and set off all the Black Cats and blew up a painting as the grand finale to that show. And that was very fun. And I've been thinking for a while, I want to do more things like that where I exit the studio and walk out into the streets of Carlsbad and end the show out there. And I thought of an idea. As many of you know, I have lost a lot of my sight in the last year. And I have mentioned before how I miss skateboarding. I miss gliding, just gliding down the street. And I wish I could still do it, but it's very dangerous because I can't see the road too well. And if I were to hit a hole or a rock or debris, I probably wouldn't see it coming, and it would send me flying, and it would be a disaster. And on my long walk back from Las Cruces here to Carlsbad, I had the great idea. What I need to do is we need to end an episode of Caveman News. Oh shit! I'm about to lose my camera. Not this one, but the other camera. You get it. Anyway, the grand idea is that I want to end an episode of Caveman News by finally getting out there and skateboarding down the street in the dark, nearly blind, and probably precariously fall and everything like that. And I hope to do that at some point. And until that day, until I get the whim to have that great big grand finale, I've decided I'm going to have my skateboard up here every week. And then eventually we're going to be having such a great show. I'm going to be having such a good time. I'm going to say, you know what? Tonight's the night. And I'm going to grab that and take the camera with me and go live as I sail down the street and probably crash really hard. And I feel like that'll be a great finale to the show, the episode. And yeah, Soy Teresa says she ain't scraping my ass off the street. And believe me, she will not. But I like the idea of that grand finale to an episode. And I want to keep the skateboard here on stream so it's always there and ever present. And when the inspiration finally hits me, I can end an episode by careening down the street. I think it'll be beautiful. And until then, I'm gonna keep it here, right in view, so we can always keep in mind that that potential is there for me to go skating towards disaster. I think it'll be beautiful. Is there anything else? Oh yeah, to get a little political, I've heard a lot of talk about the attitude, the disrespect of these dastardly Democrats during that guy's speech or whatever. And it's given me a lot of thought. There are a lot of people who say, oh, they should have been more polite. Oh, they didn't go far enough. Oh, this, oh, that. And I feel I found a succinct way to speak my opinion on the matter. And a word that keeps coming up in these discussions is decorum. And I just wanted to say, decorum. I damn near killed him. So, there's that. I think that's about... Oh, wait. No. I can't read this last thing, but I do see one thing that I have prepared. We talked last week about my friend Caleb reaching out. Haven't talked to him in many years. Could be 2 decades for all I know. And it was nice to catch back up with him. And one of the things he sent me was a photo of he and I in middle school at PR Leva, of course, when we were the water boys for the school football team. And he sent this picture, and I thought it was nice. That's not it. That's absolutely not it. This should be it. There it is. We've got our custom H2O shirts. that I believe my grandma made, at least mine. I will have to check. Maybe Caleb can correct me, but I thought it was a great photo. Thank you, Caleb, for sending it. Had to include it on the show. I do have one other thing written. Golly, it is 20 minutes into the show. This is ridiculous. I have one other thing written here, and I can't read it, so I'm going to get out my magnifying glass. Oh, yeah, I see what it says, but I don't think that's pertinent to any of the issues. I see something in the chat. Cool pants. Yeah. Those are some sick pants. I gotta get back into that. My memory was that Caleb and I were water boys for the football team right as the movie The Water Boy came out. And I thought, this is so fortuitous. This is great. This is wonderful. Now, water boys are the most popular thing on earth, and I happen to be a water boy, so I was very proud. But then I looked up the release date of that movie, and I checked the date on this photo, and I think my memory is way off. I think there's a date on there. I can't see it right now. Maybe I cropped it out. Maybe it's there. Who knows? Whatever. What I do know this. I do know that we should
start the if I was in the chat, I would be saying start the show.
I know you would.
Start the show.
Okay. Absolutely. And let's do that. Let's get the show started. Tonight we're talking about bank robberies. This was another subject that I knew nothing about in Carlsbad, but I said, you know what? Carlsbad, we're the Wild West. We used to be the breeding ground of the outlaw cities of Phoenix and Lone Wolf. So there has to be some bank robbery stories. And I was not incorrect. I was once again, oh my gosh, I forgot. I was going to do this. I've been wanting this show to look better. So, I'm toying with my lighting. I think this looks better. My intention was to turn on this light as the beat played, but I completely forgot. Anyway, that's besides the point. No, where am I going? What I need to do is start the show. Let's do that. Okay, there's the other start the show sound effect. Let's get into our first one. Okay, I don't know. I've gotten really fancy with the buttons on my Stream Deck controller, and I can't remember what this picture is. I think it's a flag of some sort. Let's find out what's going on. Arkansas bank robbery suspect surrenders. This is in the current August 2014. I think the picture on my little device here that I couldn't make out is the Arkansas flag, which I'm not too familiar with. I'll tell you one thing, it's no New Mexico flag, no Zia symbol and stuff. And you know what? I'm sorry, this bothers me. I don't know where I put down my mask that I wore at the start of the show, but I'm looking at my monitor here, and I see this huge blank spot. I just need to put the mask back, because there we go. Doesn't that feel better, everybody? Let's get into it. What this Arkansas bank robber surrender about? Carlsbad. Police officials say they were a bit skeptical when a man walked into the department lobby Monday and confessed to being a bank robber. why are they skeptical? Is that a common thing? People coming and falsely claiming that they robbed banks? I mean, believe someone when they say that. That's disrespectful to disregard what they say. Raymond Earl Smith, 60, was detained, and officers were able to confirm that Smith was a wanted felon with an arrest warrant issued in his name in Arkansas, according to reports. Well, I told you they should believe him. It's offensive that they didn't. Smith told officers he had robbed a bank in Hot Springs, I assume that's Arkansas, around December 28th, taking approximately $1,500 in cash, and then fled in his vehicle across state lines. That is cool. Well, still, I don't know. When I think of bank robberies, I think of getting more than $1,500, and this was 2014, so it's not like it was way more money back then. You know what? I'm forgetting. I am just so forgetful today, and I blame the fact that I just walked 2.5 days back from Las Cruces, and this has been a problem lately. I keep forgetting when we start the show that I need to take off my boots in honor of James Barrett, the first man executed in Carlsbad, who insisted on dying with his boots off. I need to remember that. I'm trying. I also need to remember to encourage people to call the number. Let's see. I've got this. No, here, maybe. Okay.
575-689-2606.
Beautiful. Love that. Thank you to producer Nico for that. And Soy Teresa in the chat says that this guy sucks at crime. And I disagree. I think he's so good. The cops didn't even know where he was. They would have never found him if he didn't turn himself in. So I don't think that's his deficiencies in crime. I think maybe his deficiency is guilt. I don't know what it was. He confessed to using a note to compel money from a teller and drove across Texas and into New Mexico. Good idea. I advise anybody, if you're ever out there and you're driving around, just go through Texas. Don't stop. It's a disgusting place. I've been to Texas a few times. I did live in El Paso for a while. And, well, now I'm never going back because astute viewers who watched our month we spent in El Paso will know that at the end of our El Paso month, I ran away from the law and came back here to Carlsbad. So it's a whole ordeal. I'm not going back to El Paso. But I did enjoy the time. I got one more in this story. He told officers he spent a couple of nights in the Walmart parking lot in his vehicle until he ran out of money, said Lieutenant Jennifer Moyers of the Carlsbad Police Department. I wonder what he did with that money. Just spent a week or so spending $1,500 at Walmart. I wonder what he got. That reminds me of something I forgot to mention. When I went to visit my grandpa in Las Cruces earlier this week, he told me, "Conda, you need a wristwatch." I said, why would I need a wristwatch? I do have a telephone, cell phone, and it does have the time on it. I got one of those cell phones that came with the time built in. very privileged. But grandfather insisted, you need a wristwatch. I said, all right. So he took me to Walmart, and I picked out a $40 watch. I said, hey, well, I'll get this one. That's fine. That's good. Got it back to my grandpa's house, and it turned out to be a smartwatch. I've never had a smartwatch. This is new technology to me. I have no idea what this was, but I said, okay, I opened up the watch, and I tried setting the time. It has one little button on it, and it wouldn't do anything. I found the instructions, and they said that I need to sync the watch with my phone. I said, "What? Why would I have to do that if all I'm trying to do is tell time? This is too much." But I did download the app, and I tried to sync it with my phone, and for some reason it just wouldn't sync. The app said, okay, now press the green button on the watch and it'll sync. I looked at my watch. The green button never showed up. So I imagined I do have an older phone. I am incapable of doing the fancy iOS stickers. Really wish I could. They look like a lot of fun. Yes, there were technical difficulties. That's the Cobra technical difficulties sound alert. And I figured, you know what? My phone is so old. This won't work. The app is saying press the button and nothing happens. I told my grandpa, hey, thank you very much for this watch, but I don't think it'll work with my phone. I don't think there's anything we can do. He said, well, you can't set the time without the app? I said, no. I mean, I wish you could.
And here's what I think of Trump's wall.
That's what I think of the wall as well. Anyway, Grandpa said, what you need to do is we'll go back to Walmart and you can ask somebody in the jewelry department if they can set the time for you. I said, okay. I mean, I guess. I don't know. That seems ridiculous to me. How could that work? But hey, I'm not gonna argue. I respect the man. Yeah. Soy Teresa is trying to derail this aside, but it ain't working because I'm almost done. Anyway, I went to Walmart. We found somebody working at the jewelry section and said, "Hey, this watch will not work." What it ended up being was, he said, "Can I take the sticker off?" I said, "I don't care. You can do whatever the fuck you want. This watch doesn't work." Turns out the watch face I'd been looking at was completely fake. And he peeled it off, and there was a whole new world underneath it, and I ended up getting it synced to my phone, so now I have a fancy new watch. But I felt like a real fucking idiot with my being unable to sync a watch to my phone because it had a sticker on it that I couldn't see was there. It was kind of beautiful. That aside is done. Soy Teresa, forgive me. We have completed the aside. Let's move on to another bank robbery story. Carlsbad, Carnagus. What year is this? 1988. Bank bandit apprehended. Wow, okay, so Carlsbad police. I guess occasionally they do catch their culprit. Maybe I should applaud them. Let's find out more. Love the sketch. That is beautiful. What's the name here? I think I remember something. Donald Ray Elliott. It reminds me of an author I really enjoy, Donald Ray Pollock, who wrote the classic book Devil All the Time. And it's a good movie. I recommend it if you watch it. If our movie critic, Sean Norris, is watching, definitely check it out. It's beautiful. I think we've asked you to before. Okay. A former Carlsbad man, Donald Ray Elliott, 37, has been arrested by the FBI for last week's armed robbery of the Carlsbad National Bank branch in the Northgate Shopping Center. That's the one where Hastings used to be. He was captured Sunday after he barricaded himself in an El Paso trucking company office, police said. So, there, you made the big mistake. You fled to El Paso. That's a dangerous place to be for those that are trying to escape the law. Elliot was arrested Sunday after police negotiators talked him into surrendering at Jenny Freight Lines in El Paso. El Paso police said Elliot apparently had broken into the trucking firm's office about an hour before he gave up. They said Elliot was armed with a shotgun and a knife, but offered no resistance. So, very polite. I mean, I gotta give it up for the gentleman thief. According to a news release from the Carlsbad police today, events leading to Elliot's arrest began about 8:30 a.m. Sunday when he telephoned both the El Paso County Sheriff's Office and the Eddy County Sheriff's Department. So he called them. Once again, we're looking at a bank robber who decided willy-nilly to just surrender and give themselves up, with the police doing no work, no help in apprehending these criminals. It's another person who could have gotten away with it, but I guess maybe it's just that guilty conscience, the pure heart of the gentleman thief. It is inspiring. Okay, I can't tell if I've read this one. Eddy Sheriff John Lewis was called, and he and Sheriff's investigator Ray Goff at first believed from his words that Elliot was making a local call and was in control of a local trucking firm. Lewis, knowing of Elliot being a suspect in the local bank robbery, turned the case over to Carlsbad police. Once again, we have the police not believing a criminal who is doing everything he can to assist them in their jobs that they have failed miserably at. When it was found that no one was hiding in Carlsbad, a combined investigation by Sadler Police Lieutenant Ron Shoemake, Goff, District Attorney Investigator Dennis DeLuche, and FBI agent Jim McNally determined Elliot was in El Paso. I'm sure if they would have just asked him, he would have said. I mean, he's the one that contacted them. And he contacted... My throat is really dry today. I think it's all that desert walking that I did to get here. I don't know if anybody here in... I assume most of the people that watch this are from Carlsbad. Did any of y'all see them dust bowls here in the southeast New Mexico? It was a crazy week. Anyway, that's what's going on. Yeah. But yeah, Elliot told them where he was, basically, because he called the Carlsbad police and the El Paso police. He went to two different police forces to try to assist them in doing their jobs. After his arrest, Authorization was given by a U.S. attorney for Elliott's arrest for the Carlsbad bank robbery. Elliott, local police say, has been developed as a suspect Friday afternoon in the robbery. Investigation by Carlsbad detectives in Duluth, police say, revealed that Elliott traveled to Artesia following the robbery, staying there for a period of time. That's disgusting. Not only are you turning yourself over to the police, which is that is a selfless form of sacrifice, but you also took the sacrifice of spending time in Artesia. Oof, disgusting. My heart goes out. The Northgate branch bank was held up Wednesday about 1:30 p.m. by a man armed with a handgun. After getting less than $5,000, according to police, the robber left the bank without injuring anyone. Yeah, I mean, this is a gentleman that we're talking about, but still, less than 5,000. I would, if I robbed a bank, which I never have, believe me, I think I would get more than $5,000. But that's just me. I am, as they say, built different. Donald Ray Elliott. This is an article by staff writer Jim O'Hearn. This was, I assume, a few days later. Donald Ray Elliott has been identified as being once involved in one of Eddy's County's largest manhunts. Wow, let's see. On June 6, 1976, Elliott, then 22, and two other men overpowered Eddy County jailer Harvey Smith after he was called to the cell by one of the three men who said he wanted to be transferred to a different cell. So I guess he's saying, I don't want to be in here with... Oh, here comes Cobra. Look out. I don't know. I thought he was going to get on the bed. Oh, I don't... My mirror is in the other room. I can't even do a Cobra mirror shot. Catch him in the mirror. It's kind of ridiculous. But things are very askew this week because of my absence for days. So instead of having Cobra in the mirror, we're going to have him right here. Hey, Cobra, how are you? Okay, I don't think he has anything to say. Just got to make sure he didn't... Yeah, he was doing something bad somewhere in the studio. That's Cobra, presumably. Don't mess with my jacket. I'm in the middle of giving a presentation, Cobra. Golly. Okay. Yeah. The jailer was outsmarted by men in jail who said, I want to be somewhere else. And, well, I guess it is kind of nice that the jailer helped them out, but... Smith, as he approached one of the three, was grabbed and threatened with a knife. They then locked Smith in a cell after taking his money and fled the courthouse around midnight. Wow. Yeah, they not only freed themselves, they rolled the guy. Cobra, he is messing with my jacket. I am easily distracted, but come on. That's unreasonable behavior by this furry little man. After taking a pickup truck and a rifle from the private residence, the three drove into the mountains. Beautiful. That's a place to go. I got two more buttons here. I don't know how this story ends because once again I did prep this weeks ago, and so much has happened in my life since then. I mean, you've heard about finding out that the original Conda's nickname was Con. My whole watch debacle. I've been through a lot in the past week. Let's figure out how this story ends because I don't remember. While in the mountains, Elliott reportedly forced some motorcyclists to surrender one of their motorcycles to him and he left his companions. That is pretty sick. To not only escape jail and then go camping with your buddies who also escaped jail with you, and then you steal a motorcycle and abandon your friends. Oh my god, that is the romantic tale of a hero if I ever heard one. No record is immediately available concerning Elliot's life after being sentenced here following the jailbreak, but local police say that at the time of his arrest Sunday for the bank robbery, he was on parole from a Texas prison? Yes. Okay. I don't know why I ended it there, but again, this is the Conda who prepped this show was a week naiver than I am today, and maybe I would have done it better if I were prepping the show today, but I'm not. Let's move on to this next one. This next series of buttons all have the FBI logo. Let's see what this is all about. FBI increases reward offer in Carlsbad bank robbery. This is 2018. This is pretty recent. I usually try to find... I like the older stories. I like the historical, really old stuff. But this is fairly recent. I remember 2018. I know what I was doing in 2018. I'm aware. A news release from the Albuquerque's FBI office said $2,500 is now being offered for information leading to the arrest. God, Cobra. God damn it. I gotta take my jacket from me. You can't trust the guy. Is now being offered for the information leading to the arrest and conviction of the suspect who robbed the Western Commerce Bank at 501 North Canal Street on November 16th. Okay. The original reward was $1,000, so they upped it to $2,500. But that is an insulting amount. $1,000 to turn in somebody who robbed a bank. I bet the bank robber was probably more gracious than that and would have probably given, a $1,500 to buddies who did not turn him in or her. The FBI and the Carlsbad Police Department continue to look for the suspect who escaped with over $13,000 in a military-style backpack. First of all, I love backpacks. I need a military-style one. I guess I, in a way, kind of know what they mean by military-style, but not really. I just got a glance of the clock. This has run very long because we still have to close out the show, but we need to finish this story. Oh, and yeah, he stole $13,000, and they're trying to say that the original reward they were offering was $1,000. Jeez, that is an insulting amount. Very, very minimal. Very bad. And I would not turn in somebody for that measly amount of money. Big finish. Absolutely, Brother Minx. I'm trying. Okay, let's see what this last one in this story says. Let's see. Okay. That's not it. That's the wrong button. Here we go. I love this. What does this say? A man brandishing a gun. I don't know. I do like the military style backpack. That looks beautiful. As I was saying, as a man who enjoys backpacks, I do really appreciate that. It looks beautiful. I think this bank robber really has his head on straight. He knows the proper look. He's got everything. It's very, I don't know, all of these bank robbers, I think there's something to respect in all of them, and it's beautiful to see. I do appreciate this bank robber. Ah, shit. God damn, my camera fell. This was gonna be the big reveal of me changing into the outfit of the bank robber, and then see, I had this. Oh, wait, I had this up, and then I was gonna drop it and suddenly be looking just like this man. You can understand how beautiful that would have been if the duct tape holding my camera up hadn't slipped and fallen. It would have been wonderful. But I think I've proven my point of what I was trying to say with the... It's way too hot in this. The heat here in Carlsbad is stifling. But I'm seeing that it's about 10 minutes left in the show, and we do have some important news to get to. Is there anything else that I want to finish this episode? I have this next story. It was about a bank robbery, and when was this? Let me see. 1920. Lakewood bank robbery. Believe me, it was some beautiful stuff, but unfortunately, we are just about out of time. And golly, I have another story. What's this one? Oh, okay. We do have to get to this one. We'll finish this one, get to our announcements, and let everybody get to sleep for the night. Let's get rid of that. Here we go. Oh wait, that's a different guy, and I'm also dressed like him. I don't have an American Eagle thing. What does this say? A man brandishing a gun robbed Western Commerce Bank on November 16th around 9 a.m. That seems like a good time for it. It seems like the tellers would still be... Hey, Soy Teresa says the watch story was more gripping, and I loved the watch story. It was very funny to me. If you could see how stupid I looked trying to say that this watch was defective when it had a big sticker over the face, it was very funny. Anyway, yeah, I can't remember what I was gonna say. Oh, camera's falling again. Duct tape is sliding. I really need to figure out how to secure this camera. But until I do, duct tape is what I have to make do with. That is gonna bother me, it being so off center. Ooh, look at that. Look at my hairy forearm. Okay. This is really aggravating. We gotta just finish this episode. Maybe I crouch down now for the rest of the episode. This is my punishment. Alright, let's see. What's this? We do have a couple of leads that we're actively working right now as we speak. We've got some officers and some detectives to meet potential suspects and witnesses right now. This camera is still falling. Okay, hold on. Just give me... Okay, here's what we're gonna do. We're gonna have a little interlude. Okay, maybe that will hold just long enough to finish this. God damn, I know! Soy Teresa, this episode is a punishment. It's been exhausting. It's been a tiring week. I'm trying to close this thing out, but I really do enjoy this last story. I fucking apologize. Here are some unsolved bank robberies in Carlsbad. February 7th, 2014, Western Commerce Bank, 3310 National Parks Highway. Oh god. Description of suspects. The male suspect was described as tall, heavy-set, and possibly Hispanic. He wore a mask. Good call. I love to do it. Red hoodie and light-colored gloves. Okay. The woman was white or Hispanic and slender. Ooh la la. She's got it going on. She wore a mask. Fuck yeah. See, they know how to do it. Dark gloves, a hooded green jacket with a red horizontal stripe, and blue jeans. I mean, that is a great... What is going on? Oh, okay. What? Okay, I see what I did. Alright. Vehicle information. The suspects fled on a blue Harley-Davidson motorcycle. I think that's why I wanted to include that. I love the... That's a very romantic image to me. The couple motorcycling away on a blue motorcycle, rich with the spoils of... Yeah, maybe... Yeah, I don't know which of them were handsome, but I do believe that they most likely were. We're trying to end this. Holy shit. No, my buttons won't work. Okay. For some reason my buttons won't work to end this. But the other thing I really wanted to get to was another unsolved bank robbery. Was a man that also robbed the Western Commerce Bank, and the teller started loading up his satchel with all of this money, and the bank robber told her, "No, stop. And that's enough. You've given me enough." And he refused to take more money. He said, "All I want is just enough to pay for my wife's surgery." And then he left. And I don't believe he was ever caught. And I thought that was a very beautiful story. Caveman News has truly become a show that is rooted in romance and love and partnerships, and it's beautiful to hear of a man robbing a bank just to pay for his wife's surgery and declining extra money because he's not a greedy person. He's a true outlaw with a heart. It's beautiful. I love him. And I think that's enough. We have about 1 minute left in the show. Okay, now I have my final card. This is the outro stuff. What do I... Oh! I do need to give the lyric of the week. This lyric is from Bugmain. And as Bugmain said, "Who that boy be? Jolly be? A bee? It's wonderful. I love it. I hope that you all tune in next week. I should mention, we're moving the time. There have been complaints that Caveman News airs too late. Not everyone is a creature of the night. Some people have responsibilities and they must arise early. And in respect of that, we're going to start a new start time next week. See how this goes. Tune in next week. We're going to be starting at 9 New Mexico time. That's 11 East, 10 Central. And then 8 on the West Coast. That's going to be our new time. We're going to try that out, see how that works with everybody in their schedules. And our episode next week is Miss Carlsbad. I never left Carlsbad, so I don't know how I would miss. Oh, Miss Carlsbad, as in beauty pageant queen. We're going to learn all about the Miss Carlsbad, the subsequent Miss Carlsbads, and learn all about the illustrious beauty pageant circuit here in Carlsbad. It's wonderful. Maybe we'll bring back the beauty pageant. I don't know. I haven't heard much about the beauty pageant here in Carlsbad in the last few years, but I don't always pay attention to everything. I hear sirens outside. I wonder if somebody just robbed a bank. A late night bank robbery makes more sense to me. Yeah, do it when nobody's around. But that's just how I would do it. I am trying my hardest to end this show. And you know what? Consider this fucker ended. DAFU. Dangerous and fucked up. We are Dafu. Fuck the blue. If you're here next week, then I'll see you.